From a movie shot in an actual haunted hotel to a film that could make you possessed, here are the top 5 scary horror movies that will curse you after watching. Number 5 on this list is The Crow, a 1994 gothic horror superhero movie that's earned quite the cult following since its release. Similarly to some of our other entries on this list, it had one of the most tragic filming processes ever. Slash Film writes, The Crow had a slow and rocky production. According to Cursed Films, during pre-production, a mysterious figure called the offices and left a voicemail asking production to stop. This was followed by multiple tragedies. An electrician was badly burned, others were injured, then Lee died as the film was finishing filming, shot by accident when a prop gun malfunctioned. Since the film was late in production, the person responsible for handling weapon safety wasn't around to supervise the scene and wasn't able to ensure that all props were safe to use. Lee's scenes were completed by using a mixture of body doubles and then revolutionary CGI, but the film kept that charged and sad legacy, which has become impossible to separate from the story itself. Who was that mysterious figure and how did they know something bad was gonna happen? People have speculated that the phone call that was made was from a spirit from the other side. They believe that by going against the spirit and not doing what it said resulted in the tragedies that occurred. This could also be the curse that affects you if you watch this movie. A few people have reported getting a strange call a few days after seeing this film from an undisclosed number. The phone call will start super weirdly and will eventually tell them to stop doing something in their life. Just like what happened with the movie, if they continue to do whatever they were told not to, bad things will occur. Number 4 on this list is The Innkeepers. The Innkeepers is a really interesting one. You see, this movie is cursed based on where it was shot. Slash Film says, interestingly, West, who was the director of the movie, decided to make the film after hearing that the hotel where his crew stayed while shooting his previous film, The House of the Devil, was haunted. Well, the hotel that inspired the film is actually in the film, said West in an interview with IndieWire. The staff at the hotel believe it's haunted. The whole town believes it's haunted, so it has this kind of mystique quality to it. While West said that he's a skeptic and doesn't believe in ghosts, he and the cast lived in the hotel for the duration of the shooting, and he did see some doors opening and closing and TVs turning on and off, and mentioned that everyone who was sleeping there had very vivid dreams. Sarah Paxton, the star of the film, said that at nights her door would also violently fly open. It might just be because this is a scary movie and people get scared, but some people have reported similar occurrences happening in their home after they watch this movie. As if the haunting that happened at that hotel where they shot it somehow comes into the space where the movie is played. I'm not sure how much of this one I believe, but they did film it at an actual haunted location, so you never know. Number 3 on this list is Rosemary's Baby. One of the scariest movies of all time, might be one of the most cursed of all time, and this curse might even affect you when you watch it. Slash Films writes, at a party, the film's composer, Christoph Komeda, fell off a rocky slope and into a coma that he never recovered from, similar to the actions that the witches take in the novel to get rid of Rosemary's friend. Then there's also the story of Sharon Tate, Roman Polanski's wife. Reportedly, Tate auditioned repeatedly for the role of Rosemary, which ended up going to Pharaoh. She makes a background appearance in one of the film's scenes. While the film was still in theaters, Tate was killed in her home by followers of Charles Manson. At the time, she was pregnant. All of these events stoked the fear and the interest of the public, giving the film a bump in popularity and an infamous reputation. Levin himself said that he had mixed feelings about the film, claiming that while it gave him access to exclusive literary circles, it also helped popularize the occult and Satanism, which was prevalent during that time period. There was obviously something going on with the creation of this movie, and people believe that it can also be passed over to the viewer. Clearly, tragedy was involved when this movie was being made, and some sort of spirit or some sort of demonic omen was afoot. That tragic luck will, in rare cases, come in the form of a curse to somebody who watches this movie. This could all be fake Reddit stuff, but there was a story of how somebody watched this movie and then 9 days after doing so, while on a hike with their family, fell off of a rocky slope and got put into a a coma, just like what happened to Komeda. Maybe this was a coincidence, maybe this wasn't even true, I'm not really sure. All we can say for sure is that something haunted the actual production of this movie, and I don't think it's that much of a stretch to think that that haunting could continue to those who watch this as well. Number 2 on this list is The Omen. It almost just feels fitting that a movie called The Omen just happens to get you cursed if you watch it. Slash Film says, production on The Omen was controversial from the get-go. Executive Bob Munger, who pitched the original story, warned the producer about the dangers of making a film like this. If the devil's greatest single weapon is to be invisible and you're gonna do something which is gonna take away his invisibility to millions of people, he's not gonna want that to happen, he said. During production, tragedy struck. Lead actor Gregory Peck's son died by taking his own life, and Greg's plane was struck by lightning when he was flying to London for the role. Mark Newfield, one of the film's executives, also said that his plane was struck by lightning when flying to LA. Stories like this continued to plague the production, resulting in the death of an animal trainer on set and a special effects artist involvement in a fatal car crash that recalled the fatality he created for the film. Per local reports, a sign on the site of the accident read, Omen, 66.6 kilometers. Yeah, so this movie is all bad when it comes to curses, and apparently they pass over to the viewer as well. Now, I don't think that you're gonna get struck by lightning or anything like that, but some people have said that watching this movie has turned into a bad omen for their life. That after they watched it, things that should go their way just started doing the opposite. They got fired from their job for things outside of their control. Their spouse left them for no good reason. They got diagnosed with something that's really not very good. All just bad things that are pretty much out of their control. Maybe this movie is actually cursed, and watching it means that you will be too. And finally, number 1 on this list is Poltergeist. This movie has got to be cursed based on how many deaths are associated with its production. The movie was released in 1982, and it's not only one of the most famous horror movies of all time, but it also holds one of the most famous curses. Several documentaries have looked into how serious this curse was when they were making this movie, and also how it can be transferable to those who watch this movie. 4 separate cast members died while they were working on this film, or immediately after it was finished shooting. That is a lot of cast members, guys, and far too many to just be a coincidence. These were big cast members too, literally the face of the franchise, Heather O'Rourke being one of them. Along with these deaths, there were also some really scary things going on here. Like a member of the crew becoming possessed and having to have an exorcism performed on him while on set. Also, the iconic pool scene with the skeletons, well, apparently they used actual human skeletons when they were filming it. This whole production was just messed up from the beginning, and since the movie was released, people believe that some people could suffer from watching it. There have been some stories of people becoming susceptible to demonic possession after watching this movie, similarly to what happened to that one crew member. Be wary of Poltergeist if you do choose to watch it, folks. But there you have it, guys. That is our list of the top 5 scary horror movies that will curse you after watching. Please let me know in the comments down below what you thought about this list and some other scary horror movies that will totally change you after watching. Also, please hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. I've been your host, Nicholas Playlog, and I'll catch you next time.